Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have episode 38 of Evolve. A pretty loaded show, honestly. They've been putting more and more in the time that they have here, and I don't know if it's necessarily a good or bad thing, but we'll discuss the different segments and talk about it. So we start off pretty hot. We got Riggs and Presley versus Timmy Thatcher's Selects team. Now, I do feel like the team that Timmy Thatcher selects isn't a bad team, but I feel like it should have been ID talent, and maybe they are, and I just don't know. They've been in NXT for a bit, which is OTM. I just it felt like kind of a random thing. I feel like the select team should have been somebody that we like know of that is from the ID program, and maybe they are, but I don't think they are. I really think they're just like byproducts of the traditional NXT system and stuff. So it was a little weird to have that, but the match itself was pretty competent. I felt like Riggs and Presley, who've had such hot momentum, should have. I don't know. I feel like they really could have should have won this one because I mean OTM has been hot and they've been using them on NXT, but it's like if you didn't want them to have a loss, you really shouldn't have had like basically the top tag team, especially like how they've been pushing them so far. It just felt kind of random to not have them win there, or at least I don't know, maybe lose in a way where they tried to do something, you know, heelish and fail or something. I just feel like it was just way too clean of an ending for them to just lose because once we saw there was going to be four matches, we know these matches were going to be super small and super crammed in here, which I just always feel like it's the bad thing because you could see all the segments that they also slammed in here, and it's way too much. So I put this match as a solid B. It really just didn't have the pacing to last at 6 minutes. It just felt like nobody really got in anything crazy, and it was just like they were done. Let's go to the next one type of thing, and it just kind of sucked that way. But I think overall, it was still competent to be the starting match. And then we have Carmen Petrovic versus Zena Sterling. The whole show in the next couple weeks, it feels like it's going to be flooded with a lot of the LFG, not winners, but like the people that came in second and third and fourth and stuff, which is nice. I mean, it influxes a bunch of talent and allows a lot of these performance people to get an opportunity to get some extra showings, which is always really nice. It really I think is make or break it, as we saw Gentala and Jamar Hampton's case. Like I think they were on the cutting box of being like, let's see what they can do on live stuff, and they both didn't really I think cut it the way that they wanted to, so they released both of them. So that is kind of a make or break I think for a lot of them, and we'll see. PJ Vasa's in the spotlight. Cena Sterling's up here. They showed Drake. What is it? Is it Monroe? I don't know. He's right here. This guy. I know his first name is Drake. That's about it. The Bayou Boogie guy. And then we saw, like Shiloh Hill up is gonna debut on NXT, and they've also already shown, a couple of the other people. I mean, obviously the was it Danny, the cheerleader? She's had a match up there. I'm trying to think of like if they've had matches and if they've shown that because I saw the spoilers for the second part of Gold Rush because they filmed it back to back. So like certain stuff may or may not have happened, and I'm just kind of getting it mixed up in my brain because I saw a lot of the spoilers. Because both Evolve titles are being defended this upcoming Tuesday, but if you want the spoilers for them, they're already out there, so you don't have to be too crazy. But this Carmen Zena match, I really think they just suffered from only having 4 minutes to figure this out. I really do feel like your minimum is at least give them the 5 minutes. Get the cage match. I mean, they're only 3 seconds short, and I feel like it just wasn't it. I think they still both need a lot of work. I like Carmen Petrovic a lot, but I think she just kind of fell off after that love triangle storyline. And I feel like they just didn't allow her to wrestle, like actual wrestle. And she's just been kind of in that like purgatory of just trying to get back into it, but they don't know what to do with her. Like they want to make her look strong, but then they like let her get squashed and then they, do back and forth. And it's kind of a pain. And if she's going to pick up a bunch of wins, they need to do it very soon because she can get that momentum going. But I put this in C. You could possibly debate it to be even lower. I did enjoy it. It just wasn't enough to really sink your teeth into. Then we get Swipe Right versus Tate Wilder and For Real London. Honestly, this match was a lot better than I expected with having like the makeshift tag team on the other side. For London was somebody who debuted on Evolve and then went to LFG and then now is back on Evolve. I feel like his career path is like all over the place with that type of stuff. He pretty much only came in and got squashed twice in his first two matches. They did pick up the win here, which is just the worst call here. I mean, Swipe Right is the most established tag team on the entire Fate. They just lose to two guys that just decided to team up and go, and it just makes no sense. I mean, obviously they're heels. They could have cheated, but they could have had Jackson Drake take out, Tate Wilder, and then have Real London get like double teamed and lose the game or lose the match. I really don't understand them winning here. The match itself was decent. I do feel like Tate Wilder's getting better in the ring. I always give him a lot of crap on this show, but I think he was getting better. Obviously, Swipe Right did pretty decent. I still think I'd put this in a C. It wasn't that enjoyable. I really wish if they were gonna make these matches smaller, they could have taken that minute that they gave and gave it to the first match, because that first match I feel like could have really gotten to the second gear, but this one never was gonna get much better than what it ended up being. So we'll put that in C. Then we had Ariana Grace at the VIP lounge. I do liked how they used the VIP lounge to like highlight more talent. The thing is, they try to shove as many people on this card as humanly possible, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. In this case, just having her out there is fine. I think she's going to be a wrestler. A lot of people thought she was going to be the new GM, but it does seem like she's going to be the wrestler. She does get a match against Carly Bright next week, which again, I think she'll beat Carly Bright, which will then just kind of be stupid. It's like, if you're gonna have somebody come down from NXT, have them not face somebody who's really high in evolves, because then it's just gonna kill the momentum. And Carly Bright is pretty solid. Like, she's probably in the top 10 down there, but that's gonna really damage her fan if they end up doing it that way. But that might also be jumping the gun. I'll put this in B. Wasn't too bad. Just playing her character. I'm not a big fan of her character, but still pretty solid. And then I said earlier, yeah, we have Drake getting his Evolve debut soon. I do like the little vignettes because it allows people to like see them, and hopefully we'll see them sooner than later. We do have a gap, I guess, next week. No Evolve, which is kind of sad. It's like you don't really think about it. You watch it every week. You're like, oh wait, I guess none for next week. But this part wasn't even too crazy. Just him debuting. I'll put it in C. I mean, it was just standard. And then I'm kind of sad about the Evolve, so I'm gonna put it down in D. I mean, it makes sense. It's Thanksgiving week, so there's not much of a point. But the only thing I'd say is that they film these in advance, so if it's really about giving people time off, it really doesn't matter. The only thing I could think of is trying to catch up to their schedule and make it a little bit more live. They also could just be taking a second to figure it all out, because they release so many people around this time that they're filming that they might have needed that extra week to figure out what they're doing. But I really think they could have thrown out some people and made an episode if they really wanted to. But I just think they took it as it's whatever. And then we had a backstage segment with Callie Armstrong and Kendall Gray. It was pretty solid. I do feel like they were really looking like they were going to maybe do a rematch, but I think after that main event, I think it's kind of mute. So I'll put this in C. A little bit the hindsight puts it lower than it should be. Then we had Timothy Thatcher said that he's going to have a ID showcase coming up. It'll be Aaron Rourke and Marshall Mathers versus Cappuccino Jones and Mike Cunningham. Kind of interesting. I think that match would actually be pretty solid. So I'm in on it. That should be. I think that they said that was going to be on the next episode. So I'll put that in a solid A. That's going to be pretty fun. So we'll have that match, the Ariana Grace and Kylie Bright match. So we'll at least have two out of maybe 3 or 4 matches, depending on what they end up doing. And then we get to the main event. It was PJ Vasa versus Callie Armstrong. This is kind of a weird one because, like, I really feel like you should rate each performance separately on this one, because PJ Vasa just kind of struggled, especially for a 5-minute match. It just really wasn't there. The whole package just kind of fell apart. I'd probably give her performance around like a D. I think Callie Armstrong did pretty solid to keep her get her through the match, but for 5 minutes, it really felt like they struggled. Like I watched that and I just kept thinking like they gonna ever hit that second gear, and I was seeing the show was nearing ending, and I'm like, oh, I don't think they are. I think this is gonna be just a rain to fade and then it'd be done, and it was like an eye rake, and that was it. I mean, I guess it's not a clean win, but Callie Armstrong's kind of slightly a heel, but it felt like you kind of killed her momentum fully. I don't think this match had to happen. I know they're trying to give that big push to PJ, but like her attacking uh, Kendall Gray is almost a big enough push to get a title match that she really didn't need to be. Callie Armstrong need to be fed to her, because I feel like when you build somebody up like this, the only logical thing is that PJ is gonna win the title. Carmen, I mean not Carmen. Um, Kendall Gray is going to retain against Chantel Monroe, which is I think that one's also on that card. So that card's pretty stacked for next episode. But if she retains there, then PJ Vaso might take the title off her in mid-December or something, because it feels like if you don't do that, then you just wasted multiple talents. So I don't know. I'm gonna put this match down in D. I just really didn't enjoy it. It really didn't feel like the main event. Like I said, there was no time for this match. I just feel they need to figure out something. I feel like another thing with them filming in advance is that I would film a bunch of just one-off matches, kind of like the Carmen and Sterling match, and like film them to be 6-7 minutes, and then basically have them at the ready to fit into these shows better, because like this show definitely didn't need that match, but you could use them in other things. And then whatever they don't use, they can just use them as like free matches that they put on YouTube and stuff if they weren't going to put them from the show, because there's just so much stuff that like you could have a bunch of these matches just saved up, because the show doesn't always fit. Like this type of main event should have had at least 10 minutes. It should have had that time. Like, I really do think it suffered from the time. Now, PJ Voss did struggle to get 5 minutes out, but like maybe she would have hit that gear at some point and retained itself. But like with 5 minutes, you don't have a lot of time to press. And then at the very end of the show, Harley. It was, Harley Riggins and Jax Presley, I always forget which one's which, said that they were going to make a call because of, just basically this ID talent stuff is going on. I don't know. Like I feel like that could be a pretty interesting thing. I guess it really depends on who they're calling. I'm probably thinking it's somebody from the NXT roster that they're gonna call down there. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that makes a lot of sense, but I am intrigued. So I'm gonna put that up in S tier. I think I put the show at a solid C. It was kind of a step back from the last couple of weeks. You kind of always kind of get that when you don't have the big match feel of having like a title match, and the biggest match there only got 530s, so I feel like that's kind of their issue. I really do believe that they need to just not do 4 matches. I feel like it's just pointless to do that. If you're gonna throw all these segments in between that, because I feel like there's also a segment that I've missed, and maybe um, me being a little late on this, I've forgotten something. It must have not been anything super crazy if I haven't thought about it. I know they had the backstage segment with Wilder and all that, and they had like a P nasty thing, but I don't think that's any of the things that I was thinking. But either way, I feel like there's still a lot that they need to perfect in this formula. And maybe a week off, they'll get back and do it. So if you guys like these videos, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry this one's a little late, but I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.